Toyota and Chevy continue their dominance this week at the Würth 400.
Everybody likes a winner, right?
A three-wide finish.
That was old school ass whipping.
Boogity, boogity, boogity. Ooh, let's go racing today, boys.
Denny Hamlin brought home his third win this year at the Würth 400 from Dover Motor Speedway. I didn't think it was the most exciting race, but despite that, we had some interesting stops along the way. Practice and qualifying set the tone on Saturday for what the race was going to be on Sunday. The 15, the 71, and the 20 cars all had crashes on Saturday. The 15 car of Kaz Grall had crashed in practice and absolutely destroyed his car. Because of that, he wasn't able to make a qualifying run and started in 35th. The 71 of Zane Smith also crashed in practice and wasn't able to make a qualifying run. He started in 37th. For Christopher Bell, his bad day started on Saturday and things didn't get any better on Sunday. On Saturday, he ended up crashing in practice on the first lap of his qualifying run and wasn't able to complete a full qualifying run. For that, he ended up starting in 33rd. We had our first wreck of the race on lap 38 with Todd Gillen having a solo spin coming off of turn 4. He tagged the inside wall and didn't have any major damage to the car. This incident ended up happening during the commercial break. During the caution, we had a number of drivers have trouble on pit road. The 45 was coming out of his pit when the 43 right in front of him was coming into his. The 45 ended up tagging the 43, spinning the 43 in his pit box. The 45 car seemed to have a small amount of damage to his bumper, however, it didn't seem to affect him too much in the race. Both the 8 and the 20 had to back up in their pit box as they were about to go because both teams wanted to check that the wheels on the car were tight. Although this was a setback for both teams, they could have avoided a much bigger issue had the tire fallen off on the track. At the end of that pit cycle, the 34 was also penalized for speeding on pit entry and had to do a pass-through penalty. After they got back going green, the 41 car noticed a lot of smoke inside the car.
Ironic.
On lap 61, they ended up pitting to try to figure out what the source of this smoke was. On lap 69, they ended up taking the car to the garage because the smoke had gotten so bad, and that effectively ended the 41's day. On lap 118, we had our second caution of the day with Brad Keselowski spinning because of a flat tire that was caused by a tire failure. After this incident, I was expecting to see more tire-related issues as the race went on. However, unfortunately, this was really the only issue we saw for the rest of the day. This caution ended up taking us to the end of Stage 1, with our Stage 1 finishers being first, Truex, second, Byron, third, Reddick, fourth, Blaney, fifth, Larson, sixth, Hamlin, seventh, Busch, eighth, Bowman, ninth, Elliott, and 10th, Stenhouse. As tends to be the case, Stage 2 ended up being a lot quieter than Stage 1. By lap 165, cars were extremely spread out, and the racing at that point really just got boring. Green flag pit stop started on lap 183. During that pit cycle, the 24 ended up falling off of his jack in the pits, costing them a ton of time. They ended up having a 24-second stop, and he cycled to 19th. He was running top 5 all day, and for the most part, this really killed his chances of running up front. During that pit cycle, the 5 of Kyle Larson ended up cycling to the lead due to great pit strategy. Larson went on to lead that stage with our Stage 2 finishers being 1, Larson, 2, Bowman, 3, Hamlin, 4, Truex, 5, Elliott, 6, Busch, 7, Reddick, 8, Blaney, 9, Stenhouse, and 10, Wallace. The 11 car won the battle off of pit road and started Stage 3 first. He ended up jumping to a 2.5-second lead quickly. As that run went on, Larson started to gain on the 11 until the pit cycle. The 11 and the 5 pit together under green, and the 5 was able to jump the 11 on pit road and cycle out to the lead. During that same green flag pit cycle on lap 321, the 47 and the 4 ended up making contact with the 47 spinning into the inside wall. This effectively ended his day because of the damage he sustained. I really hated to see this for Ricky Stenhouse. He already had 2 top 10 finishes in the first 2 stages and had an awesome finish last week at Talladega. We had another caution on lap 329 with the 23 of Bubba Wallace spinning, collecting the 20 and the 24. This incident ended up ending the day for all 3 of those drivers. The 20 team just can't seem to catch a break. Whether it's the team, the driver, or another driver getting into them, they seem to have a target on their back for these kind of incidents. If they're going to have another championship run this year, they're going to have to put it together quick and find a way to overcome these challenges. The 11 was ahead when the caution came out, so he started in first and what ended up being the last restart of the day. The 11 again jumped out to a big lead. Kyle Larson was gaining on him at the end of the race, however, he just didn't have enough time to be able to get by the 11. The 11 of Denny Hamlin ended up winning his third race on the year, giving Toyota another win, only adding to their dominance. Our top 10 to finish the race were 1. Hamlin, 2. Larson, 3. Truex, 4. Busch, 5. Elliott, 6. Gragson, 7. Blaney, 8. Bowman, 9. Hemrick, and 10. Gibbs. Besides the obvious of the winner, another thing that I think has to be pointed out here in this finish is the 6th place finish of Noah Gragson. This is Noah's second straight top 10 finish, and he's been looking a lot better than anybody expected. I really look forward to seeing how he performs as the season goes on. As I mentioned at the beginning, I really thought this was a pretty boring race overall. Cars ended up getting really spread out, and there wasn't a ton of passing to be had throughout the field. I didn't think the broadcast was horrible this week. However, I do have to say that Kevin Harvick needs to chill on the playful banter with Boyer. I know he's just having fun, but sometimes it just comes off as way too much, and honestly, he just kind of looks like a jerk most of the time. Besides Gragson having another good day, a driver who was having a great day until the end was Ricky Stenhouse, having 2 top 10 finishes in both of those first 2 stages. That's really good to see for that team, and I hope they can build on that despite the finish they had. This is also the second week in a row that the 23 team has wrecked out. They've had a lot of speed this year, but they just keep getting caught up in these kind of incidents. They've got to find a way to fix that by the end of the season if they want to be back in the playoffs. Larson again today scored a ton of stage points with a 5th place finish in stage 1, a 1st place finish in stage 2, and a 2nd place finish in the race. He's been wildly consistent throughout the stages, but just hasn't been able to get the wins at the end of the race. His consistency, however, may end up winning him a regular season championship. Another story I was following throughout the race was Corey Heim in the 43 car. Despite that incident on pit road, he had a really clean race. He ended up having a 25th place finish for what I'm pretty sure is his first start in the Cup Series. That's a pretty good day. But those are my thoughts for this week's race. Let me know down in the comments what you thought of this week's race. Do you agree? Did you think this was a boring race? Or did you think there was enough action throughout the field to keep things interesting? Make like Christopher and hit that bell so you can get notified on all of our latest NASCAR content. I appreciate you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you next time.